This is the future.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Warframe video. Today we will be talking about one of my favorite Warframe to play this year, the broken Warframe Saku, which is going to get their Prime version this 2024, by the way. Now, I know that this is still tentative as it's dependent on the decision of Digital Extremes, but if there will be no changes to the Prime scheduling, then it's safe to assume that we can expect Protea Prime after Gauss Prime, then Saku Prime, and then Lavos Prime. The last one would be Sevigov Prime, and I am also excited about that. We have talked about Protea Prime and how she can be good even in Steel Path levels, and I am also excited about this Warframe, but if I am going to pick between Protea Prime and Saku Prime, there's no doubt that I will be picking the latter always. This is just a personal preference, but I have more usage rate for Saku compared to my Protea, as the Warframe is more versatile. The Warframe can easily do normal to Steel Path levels or beyond missions, as they have an ability that scales with enemy levels. I can also play the Warframe solo or with a team, and don't worry that I'll be a burden to them, as with the right setup, you can both kill and survive high-level missions easily with the Warframe. Mesa and Protea are also jealous of Saku. While I just made this up, Saku has this ability wherein they are capable of replicating the best abilities of both Warframes and making them even better. The Warframe has this automatic turret which doesn't require aiming and lasts longer compared to Protea's Blaze Artillery. Their Grasp of Lok is probably the best ability of the Warframe. Each time you cast this ability, it will disarm enemies, making them use melee attacks only, whilst their ranged weapons transform into Void Replicas that hover and follow Saku for a certain duration. Void Replicas automatically target enemies within direct line of sight, shooting a Void Beam with a fire rate of 1.2 times per second, each void scaling damage with a % chance to stagger their targets. If cast on a weaponless or disarmed enemy, a void replica of Saku's primary weapon, or a void entity object in the absence of a primary orbit Saku instead. This ability scales better with range, or at the maximum range as possible, as the max number of stolen weapons is rounded down to the whole number multiple of the range modifier, and the base number. Simply put this way, the more range, the more weapons you can steal, and the better your overall DPS for Grasp of Lok. The good thing is that high range will also benefit your other abilities, especially your ultimate ability that grants you dodge chance, crowd control through slow, and make enemies more vulnerable to void, hence making Grasp of Lok do more damage. Their third ability also benefits with ability range, and in fact, it's important to have high range for their gaze ability to increase the vicinity of the defense strip effect. The higher the range, the higher the coverage of the armor and shield strip. Gaze is probably the best ability in their lost skill, but you can also benefit from the other effects. Accuse is great for aggro control, as you can turn enemies into your allies. This will improve your overall survivability in the mission. On the other hand, I rarely use their Accuse skill as it doesn't make any sense. It can suspend enemies into the air, but you will rarely use Saku for crowd control as they are more towards kill speed. Gaze is the priority skill on their third, while the other skills are just abilities you use when you want. Another great thing that I love about Saku is that I can farm resources also for the Helmet system while doing missions. Let's take for example Zariman missions that yield both Navigation Coordinate and Void Gel. The latter can be farmed through Zariman enemies while the Navigation Coordinate can be found in crates. With Saku's fourth ability that can break crates without any line of sight mechanic, I can easily farm the loot from those crates present in the area while having no problem killing enemies because they'll just die once they are in range from my automatic void turrets. The crate breaking mechanic is also great in open world areas like farming thermal sludge in the Orb Valis. Also, it's so good with bounty missions like what we have in Zariman and the new Whispers in the Walls tile set. You know that these missions have special drops called Void Plumes and Voca. These resources can easily be found when you break all the crates in the area, so you can spot the rare resource in your minimap with a loot radar mod. And the best part is, you can do all of these with just one build. Now, the main concern sometimes playing the broken Warframe is that most players that are new to playing the Warframe tend to have a hard time with survivability. The Warframe has a dodge rate chance on their fourth ability, and you can pair this with the Sly Volfilla for another instance of evasion. But to be honest, this is not enough, as dodge or evasion in Warframe has a huge flaw and you will die all the time if you just rely on this. To survive with Saku, you must combine shield gating evasion, some crowd control and operator gameplay. Shield gating Saku is easily achieved with Brief Respite and the Augur mods, paired with the Catalyzing Shield mod. Every time enemy breaks your shield, it will only take one cast of your abilities using this build to get the max shield value and abuse the 1.33 seconds of invulnerability for as long as you have energy. I also took care of the energy maintenance in this build using the Nourish Subsume ability paired with the Zinurix Wellspring ability. The energy pickups will also be great for Nourish build, and I also have Arcane Energize, which is already overkill. This is because I don't have any other needed mods, and this slot is only optional, so you can use anything that you want to use in this slot. Many would prefer going with the Relentless Lost Augment, so you won't need to put Blind Rage in the build, but Blind Rage is perfect for my build as I don't need to cast multiple times, or wait for Molt Augmented to stack so I can get enough power strength to strip all defenses with the Gaze ability. In addition, Blind Rage ensures that I consume a lot of energy so it can be converted to shields with the Brief Respite or a mod, and like I have said, energy is not a problem with Nourish in your build, not to mention that Nourish will grant Viral to your Sentinel weapon, or to your own weapon that adds bonus damage to health, increasing the overall DPS of the Warframe's Grasp of Loc ability. There are times wherein players would use Vampiric Grasp for survivability for this Warframe. What this augment does is gives you lifesteal per hit of Grasp of Loc. However, the only enemies you get to steal life are those who are affected by void damage from your 4th ability. Instead of this, I use the slot intended for the augment to place Umbral Vitality. This is not really to increase my health, but to increase the power strength bonus of Umbral Intensify. In case you don't know, the power strength, armor, and health bonuses of Umbral mods increases when you have 2 pairs of the full set. I did this to increase the power strength for my Nourish and as well as the void damage of my Grasp of Loc ability. But again, this is only a personal preference. With Umbral Vitality also, I have enough health to at least go into my operator, put Arcane Resistance to replace Arcane Energize, and survive Eximus units that has toxin damage. Lastly, out of all the skills of the Broken Warframe, Sada's Whisper is easily the best slot for subsumed builds as it doesn't work with Grasp of Loc. It does provide void damage and another damage instance for your guns, but we will be using Grasp of Loc most of the time with this build. In terms of crowd control, by the way, you can get this not only with your 4th ability, but also from your Sentinel modded for Radiation, Blast, or even Cold Procs. The most important part is the operator mechanics wherein you can hide in void mode, and this will still make Grasp of Loc active. You can use this to be safe against special units such as Thrax enemies, while killing them with your Grasp of Loc turrets. The general gameplay for Saku to both survive and kill is first, cast the Xenurix Wellspring and then Nourish to ramp up your energy replenishment. After that, it's time to gather DPS with your Grasp of Loc. I haven't really explained how the damage scaling of this ability works, but just simply put it this way, if you steal guns from enemies that has insane levels, then the guns you have stolen will be high level too. It works better if you stole the guns from Eximus units. Just remember though that units with Overguard will not let their guns be stolen by the ability. You would need to take down their Overguard first before you can steal their guns. After stealing guns, just simply put Gaze in 2 areas. This ability can affect special units such as the Necromech and the Whispers in the Walls tile set. While you can't take them down easily just by using your Grasp of Loc, you can always put them to halt by simply casting Gaze upon them. After that, simply recast your 4th ability when needed to slow enemies, increase your void damage for Grasp of Loc, get the dodge chance, and I almost forgot, the Vast and Time will also stop the counter of all Saku's abilities. This means that Grasp of Loc will have more than the duration you have in your stat screen if you keep on maintaining your 4th ability. Just remember that the duration of Helminth and Subsume abilities are not affected by your ultimate skill. Overall, I'm looking forward to Saku Prime as I think that they are the most versatile Warframe that you can use for almost all important content in the game right now. There are still no dates yet, nor official announcements from Digital Extremes, but we can expect it to be released after Pro T Prime. So that's all about it. I hope that you have learned something new from this video. For comments and suggestions, write them down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.